Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashley and I'm a full-time reseller, which means that I go to places like thrift stores, yard sales. My favorite thrift store to go to is the Goodwill bins, and that's where I primarily source for my online stores, and I sell on mostly eBay and Poshmark. I also sell sometimes on Mercari and Depop. I list some items. So today I'm actually going to be going over my 10 fastest sales from last week. So about 2 weeks ago, I went over my 10 fastest sales of October, and you guys really seemed to like that video. So I figured I would do another one of those, but do it from just a week. So I pulled another 10 sales that sold extremely fast. Now again, most of these are not high dollar items because in my area, I just don't find a lot of high dollar items. A lot of these are bread and butter items. A lot of these are lower dollar items, but again, I get them from the bins. My cost of goods is very low, usually only around $1. So it makes it worthwhile, especially because all of these sold within just a week of me listing them. So let's just jump right into it. I will also put up the listing picture so you can see what I'm talking about. I'll let you guys know, what I paid for each item, what it sold for, how long it took to sell, and what my net profit was. So the first item we're going to talk about is an Athleta workout tank top. This was a size extra large, which I think is a big reason why it sold so fast. It was actually white as well, and it had two little small spots on the front. I believe I showed that in a haul a couple videos ago, but that sold the same day I listed it. Again, I did get that from the bins. Every item that I'm talking about today, I did get from the Goodwill bins, because that's primarily where I source, like I said. So for the Athleta tank, I only paid $1.59 for that. I originally had it priced at $22 on eBay. Usually when somebody watches my items on eBay, I send a 19% off offer. I don't know why I choose 19%. It's not quite 20%. But it's more than my 15% coupon that I always have running. So it kind of gives the buyer an incentive to buy it a little more. So whenever somebody likes my item on eBay, I usually send them a 19% off offer, which I did for this buyer. So after the 19% off offer, it sold for $18.48. Like I said, that sold the same day. I listed that on November 3rd and it sold on November 3rd. I don't think I mentioned either, but the sales I'm going over today were actually from between November 3rd and November 10th. Kind of odd dates, but that's what I chose. So after my cost of goods and eBay fees, my net profit for that was $14.96. $15 net profit in just a day of listing it. I'll take that on every item. I would not complain. So the next thing we're going to talk about is a vintage Burberry. I know I say that incorrectly. I just don't know how to say it right. But a vintage Burberry, I think that's maybe how you say it, Burberry. That just sounds wrong to me, but I know it's because I've been saying it incorrectly my whole life. But a vintage Burberry trench coat. I did make a YouTube short on this, and actually I showed this in a haul a couple videos ago, but this sold within 2 hours of me listing it. I had this priced at $199.81. The buyer used my 15% off coupon that I always have running. So after they used the 15% off coupon, after my cost of goods, which I only paid $1.59 for that piece as well. So after eBay fees and my cost of goods, my net profit on that piece was $173.27. That was my best sale, or that's probably going to be my best sale of November. It certainly is to date. Today is November 12th, but that $173 profit in just a day of me listing it, I was in complete shock. I honestly did not expect it to sell that quickly. It actually did not have a size tag in it either. So of course I put measurements in it. It was a men's bigger size. It was a size 52, I believe. I took measurements. I compared them to other listings of vintage Burberry trench coats and went from there. And yeah, I was completely shocked that it sold so quickly. And I also got positive feedback on that order on eBay. I don't think I mentioned that sold on eBay, but I got positive feedback from the buyer on that as well, which was really awesome. So this next thing I just wanted to mention was another vintage Burberry coat that I sold, but that I accidentally sold for way less than I wanted to. So this sold within a half an hour of me listing it. I won't go into too much detail because I did post a story time on this. So if you want to see the whole story, go to that video. I will have it linked up in the cards. But I wanted to list that, the second vintage Burberry jacket, I wanted to list that also at $199. but I mistakenly listed it at $19 and somebody bought it, of course. So that was another fast sale. I'm not going to go into too much detail about it, like I said, because I made a whole video on it. But yeah, that was a sad sale. I still made about, $13 on it, but still sad. So the third sale we're going to talk about, I actually was shocked at this sale as well that it sold so quickly. This was a vintage Y2K American Eagle camo style cargo shorts, men's cargo shorts. I know I showed these in a haul as well. These actually had like a paint spot on the hemline at the bottom of the shorts. They still sold in just 1 week of me listing them. I had them listed at $25.81 on eBay. The buyer used my 15% off coupon on that. So after eBay fees and my cost of goods, which I only paid $1.59 for that piece as well. So the past 3 pieces I all got in the same trip to the Goodwill bins. So I paid $1.59 for those. After eBay fees and my cost of goods, my net profit on those shorts was $21.96, which is really good in my opinion. But I'm actually kind of really mad at myself because I picked that piece up as kind of an experimental piece. I remember that particular day at the bins, I found probably 4 or 5 different pair of cargo American Eagle camo shorts, exactly like this pair that sold. And I'm like, you know what? I don't want to grab them all because one, it's out of season, it was the beginning of November or the very end of October. So I'm like, they're out of season. I don't want to grab all of them and then none of them sell. So I grabbed a 1 pair and then of course it sold within a week. So I don't think I mentioned I listed that on October 30th and it sold just a week later on November 5th. So I'm still really happy with that sale. Anything that can sell in a week or under, that's golden to me. So this next piece we're talking about was actually a Walls. The brand was Walls. It was like a utility work jacket. Kind of reminded me of like Carhartt, that style. It was fleece line, hooded. Perfect for a guy for work. I'm pretty sure the guy who bought it is going to use it for work. If I remember correctly, in his positive feedback that he left for me, I think he said this is like the perfect work jacket. And also I remember him saying the jacket was in excellent condition, which just goes to show that at the Goodwill bins, it's not just trash. I know some people say that, like the Goodwill bins are dead, the Goodwill bins, you can't find anything good there. This video is just one example of how that's untrue. All of these items came from the Goodwill bins and they all sold extremely quickly. So the Goodwill bins are certainly not dead and you can always find good things. The Walls jacket I actually had listed at $39.81 on eBay. The buyer sent me a $34 offer, which was literally $5.81 under my listing price. Of course I accepted that. I only paid $1.17 for this. This I picked up just last week. I listed this on November 5th and it sold the same day on November 5th. Like I said, it sold for $34. I said I paid $1.17 for this. I'm so sorry. I actually paid $1.59 for that piece as well. So after my cost of goods and eBay fees, my net profit on that piece was $25.66. The next piece we're going to talk about, actually the buyer requested a return for it, but I still wanted to talk about it because I was really surprised with how quickly it sold. And I know a lot of people might have left it behind. So it is a women's Michael Kors belted double-breasted peacoat. Also, I got that from the bins. I only paid $1.17 for that. That I did get last week. And it was a size extra large, which was a good size. I originally had it listed at $55. This again was an eBay sale. The buyer sent me a $40 offer, which I gladly accepted it because it was a super quick sale. And if somebody sends me a reasonable offer quickly, like shortly after I listed an item, especially if I only got it for $1 at the bins, I am willing to accept it. Especially nowadays, I have more of the mindset like, just accept offers. If I'm going to make a decent profit on something and I'm getting it out of my store, just accept offers. Like I've been doing that all weekend. And I am a firm believer that sales bring sales. So when I accept an offer on eBay or on Poshmark, that pleases the algorithm and it brings more sales. It brings more attention to your closet and to your store, in my opinion. So anyways, the Michael Kors jacket sold for $40 again, which is the offer that the buyer sent me. So after my $1.17 cost of goods and eBay fees, my net profit for that was $31.29. Like I said, the buyer did open a return request. They just didn't like the jacket, but they haven't shipped it back yet. So technically this is a returned item, but I still wanted to mention it because Michael Kors is not a brand, especially in clothing, that some people would pick up. But especially their outerwear, especially in bigger sizes, this was a size extra large, it could sell for decent money. So the next two sales both sold extremely fast, but they sold as a bundle to the same buyer on eBay. So I kind of am bundling these up as number 6 and 7, but I was really happy about this sale. So they're actually both camo pieces. Well, actually not both camo. They're both like outdoorsy pieces. The first thing is a mock neck, long sleeve vintage t-shirt by the brand Ducksback. I know I showed this in a haul. And the second piece is an eagle embossed belt, which I thought was really cool. I found it in the bins. I also showed that in a haul. They both sold in a bundle to a buyer on eBay, like I said. I'm pretty sure they just added both items to their cart and checked out from there. And when a buyer does it on eBay, I think that eBay automatically combines shipping. That's definitely what happened here. So yeah, I listed the belt on November 3rd and I listed the shirt on November 8th, and they both sold on November 8th. So I only paid $1.17 for both of those items. Like I said, the buyer added both of those items to their cart. On one of the items, they used my 15% off coupon. I'm guessing that eBay only lets a buyer use it on one item. I'm not really sure why they won't let them use it on the entire order. That's kind of strange. So after eBay fees and my cost of goods on that order for both of those, my net profit was $35.40. Which is really good. I love selling bundle orders. I love getting a lot of pieces out of my stores at one time. And also, I just feel like the buyer gets a better deal. But he paid about $50 for the both of those, which is really good. So we have 3 sales left, 1 more eBay sale and 2 Poshmark sales. It seems like eBay, I mean, I say this a lot, but eBay is my #1 platform. And it seems like pieces sell quicker over there as well. So this next piece I showed in my last haul as well, I'm pretty sure, but this piece I got for myself, but I wanted to put it in this video because it sold the same day that I listed it. So I originally got it for myself, but I didn't like how it fit, made me look pregnant, so I decided to just list it, and I was shocked that, again, it sold the same exact day that I listed it. The brand was just Suzanne Batro. It was this cute, like, plaid and floral pattern baby doll, like, flannel type blouse. I had it listed at $19.81. Somebody liked it. I sent them a 19% off offer on eBay and they accepted. So after the 19% off offer, the total was $16.05. Also on eBay, I have all of my buyers pay shipping. So that Suzanne Batro blouse, I paid $1.17 for it. Even though I got it for myself, I still put that as my cost of goods because obviously that's what I paid for it. But after eBay fees and my cost of goods, my net profit was $13.22. I don't think I said, but I listed that piece on November 8th and it sold the same day on November 8th. I was shocked. Like, again, that's not a brand that I would ever pick up to resell. I got it for myself. So the first Poshmark order we're going to talk about is this vintage Faded Glory total Y2K style American flag print knit sweater. If you ever find American flag, like a big American flag knit sweater, total like Ralph Lauren vibes, definitely pick it up. This I only paid $1.17 for it. I had this listed around $28. I listed it on November 3rd and it sold on November 9th when a buyer sent me a $20 offer, which I just accepted. If I remember correctly, that was a slower day for me on Poshmark, so I just went ahead and accepted the offer. Like I said, they sent me a $20 offer. I paid $1.17, so after Poshmark fees and my cost of goods, my net profit was $14.83. And last but not least was kind of a fail on my part. I did not lose money, so I can't really say it's a fail, more of a learning experience, but definitely an item I should have left behind. But at the same time, it's sold already. So I'm really grateful for that, and I'm just gonna have to be careful from now on. But the 10th sale we're gonna talk about is this polo by Ralph Lauren full zip jacket. It had an embroidered pony on it, but when I got home, I realized that it had a burn hole in the sleeve, which I was really upset about. I did not realize that when I was at the bins, obviously, or I would have left it behind. I went ahead and listed it anyways because I had it. I hate getting rid of pieces once I have them, and I knew that somebody would still buy it, even if it wasn't for a lot. So I think I had it listed for around $22, maybe $25 on both eBay and Poshmark. If it didn't have a burn in it, I probably could have gotten closer to like $40 on it. But I paid only $1.17 for that. Somebody on Poshmark commented on the item and was like, hey, would you do $15 plus free shipping? Which at first I'm like, no, like that's kind of ridiculous. Shipping is what, $7 and something cents on Poshmark, and then $15 minus Poshmark fees. Like that's ridiculous. But then I was like, whoa, hold on, Ashley, wait a minute. Why? First of all, don't be greedy. Second of all, this item is flawed, and you just listed this a couple hours ago. Somebody is interested in buying it and is ready. And you're not going to lose money. So why are you even questioning it? So just accept it. That's pretty much what I told myself. So I decided to go ahead and just send the buyer a $15 offer plus free shipping, which kind of hurt, but at the same time, it was kind of a relief. Definitely bittersweet because I was not expecting it to sell that quickly because I had a burn mark in it. But the guy was like, yeah, like this would be great as a work jacket, but I'm not willing to pay a lot because the burn mark, is pretty bad, which I definitely can understand. So even after I sent him a $15 offer plus free shipping and minus Poshmark fees and my cost of goods, I still made $2.86 on this piece, which is totally fine. I literally got this last week. I don't think I mentioned, but I listed this on November 7th and it sold on November 7th. So I was really, really happy about that quick sale, even though it was kind of a mistake on my part. It still sold really quickly and I was still able to get that item out of my store and not have to worry about, oh my gosh, when is that flawed item going to sell? I was able to just get it out. Those are my 10 fastest sales from last week. Not really last week, from Friday to Friday. I know, confusing, but let me know if you like this style video. I know a lot of people talk about their highest sales of a month, but I don't hear a lot of people talking about fast sales. And in my opinion, sometimes a fast sale, or most times, a fast sale is more important than a high dollar sale. Because if you're waiting for 6 months for a high dollar item to sell, you could be selling a bunch of lower dollar items over and over and over and over and over again quicker and get more money than the high dollar sale. I hope that made sense. But in my opinion, I think a fast nickel is way better than a slow dime because you can turn that nickel into several dimes quicker than that dime's gonna come, if that makes sense. So thank you so much for stopping by. If you made it this far, drop a purple heart down below. I really freaking appreciate you. And I did not show Jasper yet in this haul. I have to do that. He's been sitting right here on the windowsill in front of me. He just popped his head up, which kind of reminded me that I wanted to show you guys, but just look at his cute self. He just laid back down, soaking up the sun. So anyways, thank you again for stopping by, and I hope you have a great day, and I hope to see you in my next video.